Hey guys, so I had my first and only experience of playing shows post COVID-19, and so this past weekend I had the opportunity to play a show along with another show that I attended that my wife played. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about that, and then let's discuss, where concerts might be going with all the venues. There was an article posted recently that as much as 90% of all music venues might be shutting down and might not last through these times, this pandemic. So first off, so Friday I went to a show my wife was playing. It was her only show of the summer. This was part of a drive-in concert series. So what this series is, this series was being put on about 45 minutes outside of the city of Milwaukee. It seems like a lot more concerts are happening, if any, outside of major metropolitan areas. So Milwaukee is a bigger city. It's not huge. I think with surrounding areas, we're a little over 1 million people. The city itself is about 700,000. So outside of the city, there are a lot smaller rural areas. What this was so you drive outside the city, there's a big open field and then a parking lot. In this parking lot, I'll put some video in here as well. But so in this parking lot, you drive in, and they had set up this big stage. It was a really nice stage, really good sound, good people working the sound. They obviously had experience and knew what they were doing. The sound was really good for what they had set up there. So you pull in and back up, and somebody's checking the tickets, and they're handing out masks and as well as hand sanitizer, so they're being really safe. Everybody is parked, so not in stalls right next to one another, but every other stall. But you could also get outside of your car and pull up a chair and listen to the music. So a lot of people were sharing their stalls, getting outside, because it was a nice day. So my family came to watch because it was the only show of the summer. So my mom and my sisters and their kids, so we all got together, enjoyed the day, enjoyed the weather and each other's company. And there were so many people just out and having a great time, and it's a cool way to share a concert experience in a non-traditional way, in this new post-COVID way of enjoying concerts. So I thought that was a neat idea, and some other people are starting to do this as well. So another neat thing was they were able to, once the concert was over, drop down a movie screen, and for an additional fee you could stick around and watch a movie after it started to get dark. So we opted out of that because it was Frozen 2, so we didn't want to stick around for that. Luckily my kids aren't into those movies anymore, so we took off. But it was a nice night. We got there, I think it was 5:30 or so, and then stuck around for 2 hours of music, and we were out of there before it was even dark. And I mean, it was perfect. It was really, really nice. So I like that setup. And the next day I had my one and only show of the summer. So this was again outside of the city. I drove a little over an hour outside of the city to a smaller town. It was sort of in the middle of like farmland, it seemed like. And with this show, there wasn't a lot of restrictions when it came to like social distancing and whatnot. It was more, people were just there to have a good time and sort of forget about everything that was happening. And I think there's a lot of social unrest right now, and this was just a time to relax and forget about everything and just have fun and kind of remember what it used to be like 3 or 4 months ago before the world changed. And I think we all sort of experienced that, and I did myself, just being able to play drums again with my band, and we had such a great time. Now, granted, the whole band wasn't there. My singer, actually, a friend of his has COVID, and he was exposed to him, so he was waiting on his test results and wasn't able to perform with us. So luckily we have 2 singers, but he wasn't there directly because of the virus. So even though we were trying to relax and sort of, forget about all of our worries, that of course was right there directly influencing us, and we couldn't help but think about him and be concerned for him. And he still hasn't gotten his results back yet, so we're still concerned for him. But it was a great time. It was a great event. The people there were so gracious and nice to us, and because our singer couldn't be there, we had invited another Milwaukee musician to come play with us. His name is Evan Christian, and wow, I was just so impressed with him, and I'll put some video of him here as well. So I mean, he just won over the crowd, and everybody was just so impressed. And he plays these incredible songs, and here we are, an 80s cover band, so you wouldn't think we'd go together very well, but people just appreciated the music and liked us both equally. So it was, I don't think they really cared at all. I think they were just out to have a good time, and that's what we did. We brought that for them. So as far as where concerts are going, from now on, like I said, I don't think a lot of venues in bigger cities are going to start opening very soon, because you're going to get these concentrated groups of people in small spaces, and stuff's going to start to spread fast. Once you get outside, you've got more open space or open air. I think the rules are going to be less stringent there. So that could be where music starts to go. It could mean that bands are going to start to migrate outside of cities to play. It could mean that there's competition for these fewer venues that are outside of cities. Could mean that those venues will be sort of turning down a lot of artists, or they will be given whoever they want to play at their venue, basically. There'll be a lot of competition for not many venues, especially if it's true that 90% of venues are going to be closing down. The other thing that could happen is we go back to playing house shows again, where we start our own venue. We play in our own backyards, our own barns or basements, or whatever we can find, warehouses, kind of like we used to do back in high school. We form our own scenes. We start our own scenes, and we invite people over. They bring their own beer. Basically, we have fun together. We make our own concerts. We get rid of ticket prices. Maybe people bring $5 for hosting or something. I really don't know. I don't want concerts to go away. I don't want venues to go away, but something's got to change, because right now nothing's the same. So just wanted to share my experiences of my first show back after COVID, my only show back this summer, unless I figure out some way to keep playing without venues or booking. So see if I can figure out how to do this on our own, all of us, cohesively as a group of musicians. So let's hear what you guys have to say. How are you guys staying busy? Are you writing music? Are you still playing? Are there venues in your area and state that are booking? If not, what are you doing? Are you making your own shows? Are you creating your own venues? Let me know. Thanks.